A cadet is a trainee. The term is frequently used to refer those training to become an officer in the military, often a person who is a junior trainee. Its meaning may vary between countries. The term is also used in civilian contexts and is a general attributive. For example, in its original sense of a branch of a ruling house which is not currently in the direct line of succession. Etymology. The term comes from the French term cadet for younger sons of a noble family. Military context. In Commonwealth countries, including the United Kingdom, a cadet is a member of one of the cadet forces. In the United Kingdom, these are the Combined Cadet Force, the Sea, Royal Marine Cadets, Army Cadets and the Air Training Corps. Military officers in training are called officer cadets. In Canada, the term cadet refers to an officer in training, with the official rank names as officer cadet for the Air Force and Army and naval cadet for the Navy. It also refers to any member of the Royal Canadian Army Cadets, Royal Canadian Air Cadets or Royal Canadian Sea Cadets. These three organizations are volunteer youth groups administered by the Department of National Defense. In Germany, the rank cadet only exists in the German Navy for officers in training. In the Army and the Luftwaffe, officers in training usually have the rank of a Fahnenjunker or ensign before they are promoted into the rank of a lieutenant. In the Philippines, the term cadet is used in mostly military-attached organizations, but it is more distinctive in the service academies of the Philippines, such as these of the Philippine Military Academy, the Philippine National Police Academy, and Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. Graduates of these service academies are automatically given officer commission in the armed forces of the Philippines, the Philippine National Police, Philippine Coast Guard, the Bureau of Fire Protection, and Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Graduates of PMMA are given reserve officer status in the Philippine Navy and mostly go to private shipping firms. The term cadet is also applicable to the enrollees of Citizens Army Training and Reserve Officer Training Corps. Service Academy cadets are thought to be between the NCO and officers' ranks, and NCO consider cadets as rank higher to them. In Ireland, a cadet is a pupil of the military college which carries out officer training for the Air Corps, Army and Naval Service. Training takes 2 years and the cadets are split into senior and junior grades and classes. In Norway, a cadet is a pupil of either of the 3 Krigsskolen, which educate commanding officers for either the Army, the Navy or to the Air Force. In the United States, cadet refers to a full-time college student who is concurrently in training to become a commissioned officer of the armed forces. Students at the United States Military Academy, the United States Air Force Academy, and the United States Coast Guard Academy respectively hold the rank of cadet, United States Army, cadet, United States Air Force, and cadet, United States Coast Guard, while students in the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps and the Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps respectively hold the rank of cadet, United States Army Reserve, and cadet, United States Air Force Reserve. In contrast, students at the United States Naval Academy and those enrolled in the Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps at civilian colleges and universities are referred to as midshipmen, vice cadet, and hold midshipman rank in the United States Navy and United States Naval Reserve, respectively. Students at the United States Merchant Marine Academy and the preponderance of students at the Maine Maritime Academy, the Massachusetts Maritime Academy, the California Maritime Academy and the State University of New York Maritime College, though called cadets at the respective institutions, actually hold the rank of midshipman, United States Merchant Marine Reserve, United States Naval Reserve. Some state-sponsored military colleges, including the Citadel, Virginia Military Institute and private military college, Norwich University, refer to the students as cadets. In Australia, cadet also refers to an officer in training. The official rank is Officer Cadet, however OCDETs in the Royal Military College, Duntroon, are referred to as Staff Cadet for historical reasons. Youth Cadet Corps. In the British and Commonwealth as well as Russian service, these groups of boys or youths are organized, armed and trained on volunteer military lines. Antigua and Barbuda. The Antigua and Barbuda Cadet Corps consists of students between the ages of 12 and 19. It is a voluntary youth organization, sponsored by the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda, that acquires its membership from the secondary school. The main objective is to provide training and personal development to the youths through paramilitary activities and also embrace community activities. The training is geared to inspire young men and women to become model citizens. Emphasis during training is often based on discipline, loyalty, leadership and good citizenry. Presently, the Cadet Corps has 200 active members and falls under the direct command of Colonel Glyn V. Dunner, a regular officer of the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force, and is a part of the ABDF. There are two categories in the Cadet Corps: Sea Cadets and Infantry Cadets. Ranks start from Recruit, WNCO. Australia. In Australia, a cadet can be a person aged between 13 and 18 who is a member of the Australian Defence Force Cadets. The ADFC is composed of the Australian Army Cadets, Australian Navy Cadets, Australian Air Force Cadets, which are funded by the Australian government via the Department of Defence. Other cadet movements include the St John Ambulance Cadets, and the South Australian Country Fire Service Cadets. The longest-running cadet corps in Australia is the King's School Cadet Corps. Austria-Hungary. In Austria-Hungary, the cadets of the Austro-Hungarian Army wore on the gorget patch the Feldwebel rank insignia. The characteristic of the cadet ranks was the so-called distinction galloon on the sleeve ends. It was similar to the Feldwebel galloon, however, from gold color instead of emperor yellow. The particular rank was added as well. Selezo Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, the students of cadet colleges, MCSK, and who are volunteering Bangladesh National Cadet Corps are called cadets. The students of Bangladesh Marine Academy are also called engineering cadets or officer cadets. Bangladesh Marine Academy is the pioneer academy of Bangladesh. The recruits of the Bangladesh Army, Bangladesh Navy and Bangladesh Air Force are called gentlemen cadets. There are 12 cadet colleges in Bangladesh, 9 for men and 3 for women. Fojdarhat Cadet College is the first cadet college of the country, established in 1958. In addition, the students of MCSK, an English version educational institution under the direct supervision of Bangladesh Army, are also addressed as cadets. It has an administrative structure as like the other regular cadet colleges and trains its cadets with primary paramilitary training. Voluntary members of Bangladesh National Cadet Corps are also called cadets in Bangladesh. They are the strongest philanthropists to promote youth development movement in Bangladesh. Bangladesh National Cadet Corps is a voluntary organization for teachers and students. It is one of the oldest organizations in Bangladesh. It started its operation in the Indian subcontinent in the year 1923 as University Officers Training Corps. During the Bangladesh Liberation War, cadets of this organization played a glorious role as freedom fighters. Many of them sacrificed their lives for the motherland. The cadets are committed to show the same devotion. This is one of the most motivated forces existing in Bangladesh, operating under the dual administration of the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Education. Its main objective is to develop leadership qualities, sense of dedication and patriotism among the members through sound military-based principles. Another mission is to prepare a second or third line of reserve forces having the capabilities to operate with the regular armed forces to counter any emergencies or in the wake of external aggression. Bangladesh National Cadet Corps is the apex organization that provides voluntary military training to the students of BNCC cadets to build them with good character and infuses dedicated, patriotic and leadership qualities. In military academies, cadets are trained in isolation to make them efficient military leaders to lead the soldiers of the Bangladesh Armed Forces as officers. But BNCC cadets are basically students of the universities, colleges and high schools who voluntarily join the corps to develop themselves as good citizens of the country and also enjoy the incentives provided by BNCC. Cadets take military training voluntarily twice a week during school hours within the premises of the respective institutions and some intensive training during the annual training exercise and collective exercise with the Bangladesh Armed Forces. Canada. The Canadian cadet organizations comprise the Royal Canadian Sea Cadets, the Royal Canadian Air Cadets and the Royal Canadian Army Cadets. The program is sponsored by the Canadian Forces and funded through the Department of National Defence in partnership with the Army Cadet, Air Cadet, and Navy Leagues of Canada. The term cadet movement applies when speaking of everyone associated with the program, including the CF-D&D leagues, community sponsors, cadets, and parents and guardians of cadets. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police used to maintain police cadet partnership with Scouts Canada called the RCMP Rovers and Ventures. However, it has been reconstituted into the RCMP Stetsons and Spurs and is run by various RCMP detachments. St. John Ambulance in Canada supports a youth division that includes cadets. Although cadets in other countries may have to take part in the military in the country, cadets in Canada do not have to join the Canadian Armed Forces. The Canadian Cadet Organization is the largest youth organization in Canada and the largest cadet group in the world. Its core aims include 1. Developing in youth the attributes of good citizenship and leadership. 2. Promoting physical fitness. 3. Stimulating an interest in the Canadian Armed Forces. Each branch of the cadet organization shares some of the same training, but they also complete specialized training that corresponds with that element. For example, Air Cadets complete training includes planes, VORs, and gliding. Army Cadets complete training including abseiling, hiking, fieldcraft, camping, biking, knots, shooting, map and compass and many others. This program provides youth between the ages of 12 to 18 opportunities including friendship, important life skills, and a chance to travel throughout Canada and the world. The cadet program is free. The oldest operating cadet corps in Canada is the Bishop's College School No. 2 Cadet Corps in Lennoxville, Quebec. Germany, Prussia and Imperial Germany. The Prussian military system created a caste of gentlemen cadets called Junkers. The family would receive a title and a land grant in exchange for service in the army. When the sons became of age, they would be sent off to either a military academy or apply directly to a regiment. Both required that the candidate be sponsored by a colonel or general, come from a respectable family, have the means to support their livelihood, and have no outstanding debts. New cadets were classed as a Fahnenträger if they had already attended an academy or a physio aspirant if they had not. Later the title was changed to Portipi-Fahnruk. They received the right to wear a senior NCO's lanyard not on the service dagger. After 6 months to a year, they were promoted to Fahnruk. They were later renamed Dagan Fahnruk, who received the sword of an officer. They were considered probationary officers. The officer cadet was allowed to eat in the officer's mess and have a physiosberge. After a probationary period, the officer cadet would submit a request to be commissioned. The officers of the regiment they were assigned to would vote on whether they deserved a commission. Those who passed the vote would have their names submitted by the colonel to the Kaiser, who would approve the promotion to lieutenant. Later, Imperial Germany, a series of reforms in 1899–1900 led to a change in the system. The rank of Fahnenträger was changed to Fahnenjunker. They had to pass an exam to be promoted to Fahnenreich. Ghana. The National Cadet Corps of Ghana is an amalgamation of Army, Navy, Air Force, Police and the Fire Cadets in Ghana. It came into establishment in 2002 under the Ministry of Education, presently Ministry of Youth and Sports. Hong Kong. 3 Cadet Corps are linked to Hong Kong colonial past: Hong Kong Sea Cadet Corps, Hong Kong Adventure Corps, Hong Kong Air Cadet Corps. They are now funded by the Hong Kong government and has no ties to either the British forces of the PLA. Jamaica. The cadet force came into being on November 1, 1943, and was then known as the Army and Air Cadet Force. The first commandant was Colonel Michael Ralph de Cordova, M.B.E., who evolved the organization, rules and regulations and also designed its badge. At the end of 1943, 16 cadet units were formed in secondary and technical schools. The 5th and 10th anniversaries of the force were celebrated by special parades held at Knutsford Park in 1948 and Up Park Camp in 1953. The force standard, donated by parents of cadets and by ex-cadets, was presented at the 10th anniversary parade on November 26, 1953. On April 12, 1954, the force received a great honor. The Mayor and Corporation of Kingston awarded it the freedom of the city, and its symbolic advantage is occasionally taken of this high privilege, and the force marches through Kingston with fixed bayonets. From as early as 1944, efforts were made to start an exchange of cadets between Canada and Jamaica. From 1962 to 1972, the annual camp was at an international level, attended by officers and cadets from Canada and from other Caribbean territories, with air cadets from the United States participating on one occasion. A group from Jamaica attended the camp at these countries in exchange. This was possible through cooperation of the Canadian authorities and the Royal Canadian Air Force. On one occasion, the Jamaican Defence Force Air Wing flew 5 cadets to the Southern Caribbean. Col de Cordova relinquished command in 1963 and was succeeded by Lt. Col W.R. Goldsworthy. The rank of honorary colonel was bestowed on Col de Cordova, and in 1966 he received the honor of C.B.E. from Her Majesty the Queen. Lt. Colonel Goldsworthy resigned in 1964 because of ill health and was succeeded by Lt. Col A.N.C.Its J.P., who left Jamaica for several years and was succeeded by Lt. Col M.K. Nunez. Lt. Colonel Nunez became the 4th Commandant of the force in 1969 and relinquished command on November 25, 1991. He was succeeded by Col S.B. Francis, the 5th Commandant of the force. Colonel Francis relinquished command on January 30, 1999, and is succeeded by Colonel Lemuel Augustus Lindo, the 6th Commandant. With the introduction of seamanship training, the force's name was changed to the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force in 1967. Originally, the force was under the control of the Ministry of Education, but was transferred to the Ministry of Defence on the request of the then Prime Minister, the Honourable Sir Alexander Bustamante, who had always displayed a keen interest in the cadet movement. When the office of the Prime Minister became a separate ministry, the responsibility for the cadet force was transferred to the ministry. Presently we have the responsibility of the Ministry of National Security and Justice, Defence Branch. The JCCF now consists of a moderate headquarters staff, 60 post-primary schools. On September 17, 1988, HQ JCCF was relocated at the southern end of Up Park Camp. The official opening was on December 10, 1988 by the then Governor-General Sir Florizel Glassbell. In 1975, the force was presented with a Cessna 150 aircraft registration number 6YJJK by Air Jamaica. It is decorated in the colors of Air Jamaica and has the JCCF crest painted on its tail fin. This acquisition has made the training of cadets in aviation easier. On July 12, 1980, girls in co-ed schools were permitted to join units at the schools. On February 14, 1983, the force provided a guard of honor at the National Stadium on the occasion of the visit of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II and His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh. In 1985, the force was presented with a yacht SV China to conduct sea training. In 2008, the JCCF celebrated 65 years of service to the youth of Jamaica with a major parade in Up Park Camp and several other activities to mark the occasion all over the country. The cadet force in Jamaica is now organized into 6 regular battalions, 1 support and AMP services battalion, a band and AMP drums unit as well as an air section operated out of the force's HQ, India. In India, the National Cadet Corps is a voluntary cadet organization for motivating college students to pursue a career in the Indian Armed Forces. It aims to develop qualities of character, discipline, teamwork, leadership and adventure in the students. The Corps organizes outdoor activities, such as camping, trekking, mountain climbing, etc. Besides providing small arms training to cadets, cadets have no commitment for serving in the armed forces, but are given a preference by the service's selection board when applying for officer commissions in the military services. Cadet is also used as a rank for those enrolled in military academies of India, such as the National Defence Academy, Indian Military Academy, Indian Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, Indian Coast Guard Academy or Armed Forces Medical College. These cadets are commissioned as officers in the respective service upon graduation, and make a commitment to serve. Ireland. In Ireland, a cadet is a young member of the Order of Malta Ambulance Corps of the St. John Ambulance Brigade of Ireland, and trainee army officers are cadets from DFDC. New Zealand. In New Zealand, the cadet forces of the Air Training Corps, the New Zealand Cadet Corps and the Sea Cadet Corps. All of these organizations are part of the umbrella organization of the New Zealand Cadet Forces. Another prominent cadet movement in New Zealand are the St. John Cadets, who train in first aid skills and other important life skills. Singapore. In Singapore, 3 national cadet forces exist: the National Cadet Corps, National Police Cadet Corps and the National Civil Defense Cadet Corps. These cadet organizations have a uniform and rank structure which closely mirrors that of the parent body. In addition, there are other non-national cadet organizations, namely the Boys Brigade in Singapore, Girls Brigade, the Singapore Scout Association, Girl Guides Singapore, Street John Ambulance in Singapore and Red Cross Youth. Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, there is one primary cadet force, which is the National Cadet Corps. In recent years, the NCC developed an air wing, a naval wing and a police wing. South Africa. South Africa has a long history of having cadets, with many schools having their own corps. However, after the end of apartheid they were phased out. Cadets exist today, with some schools still maintaining their own unit. The Sea Cadets are also still in existence. United Kingdom. In Commonwealth countries, including the United Kingdom, a cadet is a member of one of the cadet forces, which give military training to people of school age, while an officer cadet is a person undergoing training to receive a commission in one of the armed forces. For instance, at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst of the Britannia, a Royal Naval College. In the United Kingdom, the government-funded cadet forces of the Sea Cadets, Army Cadet Force, Royal Marines Cadets, Air Training Corps, Police Cadet Corps, and the Fire Cadets, each of which is a standalone youth organization, and the school-based combined cadet force. The Royal Marines Volunteer Cadet Corps and the Frimley and Camberley Cadet Corps, both formed in the early 20th century, were the forerunners to later government-funded associations and still exist independently, uniquely offering cadet opportunities to younger cadets. St Albans School in Woodford Green, London, is the only school in Britain to offer cadet activities to 8 to 13-year-olds within its own cadet corps. The Northern Ireland Fire and Rescue Service also offers a program for aspiring firefighters. At the next level of training there are university cadet forces, University Officer Training Corps, of which there are 19 across the country, University Air Squadrons, of which there are 14, and University Royal Naval Units, of which there are also 14. They are designed to train university students in military leadership, to promote the military across universities and to increase civilian-military relations. Students are not committed to serve in the armed forces, but can gain qualifications and commissions through the organizations. Cadets can gain a Territorial Army commission through a UOTC, and Acting Pilot Officer commission through a UAS, while URNU students hold the rank of Honorary Midshipman. Cadets also represent St John Ambulance in the line of public duties and first aid. There are many competitions for cadets within the UK, for example the Swift and Bold competition held at the London Oratory School, whose CCF still holds the name Royal Green Jackets long after the regular Army and Territorial Army regiments have been amalgamated into the Rifles. United States. The United States also has several youth cadet organizations. The Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps is a youth citizenship program with units administered by either the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard in American high schools. One of the primary functions of the U.S. Air Force Auxiliary, otherwise known as the Civil Air Patrol, is to administer a similar cadet program training in elements of leadership, aerospace studies, and emergency services. There are other programs including the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps and the Young Marines. The state of California also offers a cadet program in middle and high school called the California Cadet Corps. The oldest cadet program in the United States is the United States Army Cadet Corps, which traces its lineage to 1909 and is headquartered in Millersburg, Kentucky. For those who choose to enter a formal program to become an officer, cadet is the rank bestowed on those in the United States Air Force Academy, United States Military Academy, the United States Coast Guard Academy, and Army and Air Force ROTC, the equivalent rank for students at the United States Naval Academy, United States Merchant Marine Academy, and in Naval ROTC as midshipmen. Members of these programs will be commissioned in the military, with a term of commitment afterwards. In addition, students at a senior military college such as the Citadel, Norwich Research University, the University of North Georgia Corps of Cadets, the Virginia Military Institute, the Texas A&M University Corps of Cadets, and the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets. U.S. Merchant Marine Officer license candidates at any one of the 6 state maritime colleges are referred to as cadets, although they may or may not be enrolled in a formal officer commissioning program. Students at militarily structured preparatory schools, such as Forest Hill Military Academy, Culver Military Academy, Fishburne Military School and others, are referred to as cadets.